Today I want to talk about an alternate method for installing zippers when the zippers are supposed to have those 45-degree turned ends like this. In the past, what I've done is I've folded it by hand and used a needle and thread to hand baste that together. Well, I found an alternate method that I feel works a little more efficiently. You don't have to worry about doing all that ahead of time. So I'm going to show you on this Devon that I'm making. Now, if you're concerned about the back end of your zipper popping open, because I'm going to do the same thing on both ends. Some patterns call for it, some of them don't. If you're concerned about the back end popping open, you can absolutely add a zipper tab. Nothing wrong with that. I personally don't stuff my bags to the point that they pop open. I don't know. Maybe it's personal preference. This bag, however, does call for both ends to be turned up. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so I've got my zipper lined up, and I'm going to kind of center it here, face down. Actually, I'm going to get my double-sided adhesive, which I've misplaced. Oh, there it is. So first thing I want to do is add double-sided adhesive to this, because I am going to be doing both the lining and the exterior together. Now, I don't want to go all the way to the end, and I'm not in frame. I don't want to go all the way to the end because I'm not going to be sewing the zipper all the way to the end, and you'll see in just a minute. I'm going to go, I don't know, about an inch back from the end and across the top. Now, you don't have to use double-sided adhesive for this. I just like doing it because it makes everything come out nice and even. So I'm just going to finish putting double-sided adhesive across all of these pieces, and I'm going to forward through this part. Okay, so I'm going to put these pieces aside. I'm going to grab my zipper. I'm just pressing this so that I can remove the backing. There we are. So I want my zipper to open from the left. So I'm going to make sure that it's facing in that direction and just flip it over. And kind of center everything up. I'm going to start from one end and just line that up with the edge and press it all the way across. And when I get to where the zipper pull is, because you know how, and you can see it right there pretty easily, how there's usually that little lump there where the zipper pull is sitting. So when I get almost there, I'm going to move my zipper pull out of the way, just so that I can keep that edge nice and straight. And then when I get close to it again, I'm going to move it back to where it was. And since that double-sided tape is there, it's not going to move from that point. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to grab my lining piece. Pull off the backing, flip that over, and line my sides up. Before pressing that down, even with the top again. Okay, so I want to make sure that my zipper is not in the middle, so I'm going to move it to this side because I'm going to sew this side first. And I'm going to use my hem guide here, and I'm going to go 5/8 inch from the end and make a mark. So I just made a little mark right there. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. Oh, can you focus? There we go. So you can kind of see the PVC backing on the waterproof canvas. You can mark it fairly easily. So move that out of the way. Now I'm starting in the middle and going to the end. And when I get to the end, I'm going to show you the part that I love about this. I'm not using my zipper foot for this because I'm sewing it 1/4 inch. If I were doing 3/8 inch, I would probably need my zipper foot, but then since this is a number 5 zipper tape, I don't really need it. So I'm going to backstitch. And I'm going to sew all the way up to that point and stop with my needle down. I'm going to lift my presser foot and grab that tape and just pull it up out of the way and then sew the rest of the way to the end. I'm going to stop the video here and give you a better camera angle, and I'll be right back. Alright, so hopefully I'm not bumping the camera mount as I'm sewing this because I have one of my arms over it and this one's kind of under it. So what I'm going to do is get ready to sew the other side. So in this case, what I'm going to do is flip it over. Sorry, I hit the mount there. I'm going to flip it over and sew from this side now. So I'm making sure that I'm dropping my needle down where those stitches already are. And I'm going to move my zipper pull out of the way because again I'm using my regular presser foot. And I also need to mark that 5/8 inch. So I'm actually going to use a pin to do that this time. You can't really see that, can you? Oh. There we go. That might work a little bit better. So I'm going to mark my 5/8 inch within the seam allowance right here. Okay, and now we're going to sew. Again, I'm going to stop right where that mark is with my needle down, my presser foot up. I'm going to grab that zipper tape. And if you have tweezers or hemostats or something like that to hold on to this with, then that's great. I'm going to drop my presser foot back down and stitch across. And back stitch. Trim my threads. And now when I open this up, my zipper is connected. Now what I like to do is just make sure that it's closed all the way, like that. Once everything is sewn together, I usually don't have an issue with this part coming undone. It does pull apart fairly easily, so like I said, if you want to add a zipper tab to the end, to the closed end, then you're absolutely welcome to do that, or I should say the opened end. You know what I mean. So there we go. Now all I have to do is top stitch across this part, and I don't top stitch the seam allowance in it with this bag. The pattern does not call for it to be top stitched in. Just making sure everything is staying straight and my seam is pulled apart. Once I get this top stitch, I'll press back my lining and show you how that looks. I'm just going to kind of press that back with my finger. That's what's one of the great things about waterproof canvas. Oh my goodness, it's so easy to work with. So there we go. That is what that's going to look like. The other side will be done exactly the same, and it goes together very nicely. So I'm going to grab one of the other bags real quick that are finished and show you how that looks. This is one of the most recent ones that I've done. And you can see here on the back side, there is a slight little gap there. Oh, keep my finger there so that it stays focused. Hello, can you? Hi. There is a slight little gap there. But honestly, that doesn't bother me. So there we go. I hope some of you find this alternate method for installing turned-in zippers into your work. And if you have any suggestions or things that you'd like to see me demonstrate for you, I would be happy to do that, and maybe even we'll learn some things together. So I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.